There is a sentence, a divine decree, backed by the full force of universal law, and when spoken in unwavering faith, it commands the flow of money like a river to its source. This sentence is not born of desperation, it is not a begging, it is not a plea, it is a spiritual authority clothed in the language of prosperity. I am one with the infinite supply, and money comes to me now, quickly and harmoniously, through expected and unexpected channels. Say it now, and say it like you mean it. Say it as if heaven itself bends to hear your voice, because it does. You see, money is not a master, it is a servant, and like all good servants, it responds to the tone of certainty. The law of prosperity does not delay, we do. The law does not hesitate, we hesitate. But when you align your voice with the rhythm of the divine, the riches of the universe flow to you without obstruction. Declare it, I am one with the infinite supply, and money comes to me now. Say it when you're holding a coin. Say it when you're paying a bill. Say it when fear whispers its lies in the night. Let this sentence be the sword that cuts through lack, the light that dissolves doubt, and the magnet that draws wealth like a moth to the flame of your faith. Money is not evil, it is energy. It is a symbol. It is God's good invisible form. It is a divine idea, and divine ideas are never limited. Repeat this one sentence, not as ritual but as revelation. Each word carries power. Each word is a key. Together they unlock the vaults of abundance, they open the gates of gold, and they bring forth the lavish supply that was always yours by right. I am one with the infinite supply, and money comes to me now. Let it ring in your consciousness like a sacred bell. Let it echo in the corridors of your belief until it is no longer something you say but something you know. Speak it until you feel your atmosphere change, until money begins to show up in miraculous, mysterious, magnificent ways, until the mailbox brings gifts, until strangers bring blessings, until money no longer feels like a chase but a companion. You are not separate from wealth. You are not cut off from supply. You are the inlet and outlet of divine abundance. Say it now. Say it bold. Say it as law. I am one with the infinite supply, and money comes to me now. And so it does, immediately, swiftly, in divine right timing, which is always now. Words are not idle. They are vibrational seeds planted in the soil of the universe. Every word you speak goes out like a messenger, and returns carrying its fruit. The tongue holds the power of life and death, of wealth and want, of flow and resistance. It is not what the world says about you, it is what you say about your world that shapes your experience. The moment you open your mouth with belief, you become a spiritual architect, designing reality with invisible bricks. And when your words are aligned with divine truth, you do not beg the universe, you instruct it. There is no power in repeating what is seen. Anyone can describe their lack. Anyone can count the coins and claim there is not enough. But the spiritual warrior, the true manifester knows. You do not speak what is, you speak what is becoming. The words are not echoes of your current condition, they are prophecies of your divine destiny. That one sentence you speak in full faith becomes the lifeline to a new dimension of abundance. When you declare, I am one with the infinite supply, and money comes to me now, you do not speak from logic, you speak from law. The spoken word is a tool of alignment. It either pulls you deeper into the frequency of lack, or it lifts you instantly into the realm of the miraculous. And it happens not later, not someday, but now. Now is the moment where all power lives. Not in the past where regrets echo, not in the future where fears form shadows, but now where your word becomes flesh, where vibration meets creation. When you understand the power of your voice, you stop speaking carelessly. You no longer joke about being broke. You no longer affirm the struggle. You no longer narrate your bank balance with anxiety. Because the universe does not filter for sarcasm, it responds to energy. Each time you speak with certainty, the energy of money feels it. Money, like all spiritual substance, has ears. It listens for certainty. It listens for recognition. It moves swiftly toward the one who calls it not with desperation but with dominion. When you say money comes to me now, you must mean it like you would command a faithful servant, not as if you're hoping it heard you, but as if you know it must respond. This is not a guessing game. This is spiritual law, the law of the word. You are not throwing sentences into space hoping something sticks. You are sending out divine instructions from the inner throne of your being, and your words, when backed by unwavering faith, cannot return void. Every word is a decree. Every sentence is a seed. What you speak in the silence of your room becomes visible in the noise of your life. If you want to shift your finances, shift your phrases. If you want new outcomes, birth them with new declarations. You are never just talking. You are always activating. So when the fear rises, speak. When the doubt whispers, speak. When the bills show up, speak. Speak the sentence that holds heaven's blueprint. Speak the truth that bends timelines. Speak the word that carries divine voltage. You are not waiting on the world to give you permission. You are giving the world instruction. You are not seeking money, you are summoning it. And the way you summon is with your word. Powerful, clear, certain. So open your mouth, not in fear but in faith. Speak not as a victim of conditions but as a master of vibration. Speak not because you're trying to make it happen, but because it's already done in spirit, and your word is simply claiming what is rightfully yours. You are one with the source of all. You are inseparable from supply. Speak it into being. Speak it into now. Money is not a lifeless object. It is not paper, not coins, not digits on a screen. Money is energy. It is divine substance. It is a spiritual idea made visible in the material world. And spiritual ideas are eternal. They cannot be lost. They cannot run out. They cannot be blocked except through belief. When you see money as something external, something separate from you, you step into lack. But when you see it as a vibration already within you, already flowing through the same source that breathes your lungs and beats your heart, you awaken to the truth that there is no distance between you and your wealth. Money is not here to be chased. It is here to be received, not through struggle, but through alignment, not through force, but through faith, not through need, but through knowing. When you understand that money is not something to earn, it is something to allow, you change the entire energetic relationship. You are not trying to get it. You are allowing it to rise from the invisible to the visible, from the field of infinite possibilities into the structure of form. This is why your sentence holds so much power. I am one with the infinite supply, and money comes to me now. You're not saying this to make money appear. You're saying it to align your awareness with the truth that it already exists, already surrounds you, already seeks you. The sentence is not a magnet because of the words. It is a magnet because of the consciousness behind it. And the consciousness is this: there is no separation between me and the source of all abundance. The moment you see money as a spiritual extension of divine energy, your need to prove yourself to receive it dissolves. You stop hustling from unworthiness. You stop earning from fear. You stop serving from scarcity. Because you realize you are already plugged into the infinite, and the infinite does not require effort, it requires faith. The infinite does not demand suffering, it invites surrender. Money is not a reward for working harder. It is the echo of alignment. It is the effect of being in vibrational harmony with the truth of who you are, a divine being, chosen, worthy, already rich in the invisible. The physical appearance of money is the universe saying, you have remembered. And the more you remember, the more it flows. You do not create supply, you tune to it. You do not earn supply, you receive it. And the way you receive is through belief, through the deep embodied knowing that everything you need is already yours by divine right. You are not here to convince the universe of your worthiness, you are here to agree with it. The more you agree, the faster the evidence shows up. So speak the sentence with this knowing, not as a spell to get rich, but as a declaration of what's already true in the spiritual dimension. You are not drawing money in from the outside, you are allowing it to express itself from within. It's already coded into your field, it's already written into your design. You were never meant to live in limitation. You were created as a conduit for circulation, a vessel for overflow, a channel for divine prosperity. Let your life be proof of this truth. Let your words be infused with this frequency. Let your mind be rewired by this understanding. Money is not separate from you. It is not hard. It is not wrong. It is not elusive. It is simply energy, waiting for permission to flow where it is recognized. So recognize it now. Claim it now. Not from ego, but from divine inheritance. Not because you need it to survive, but because you're ready to thrive. Speak the sentence again, and let it land not just in your voice, but in your cells, your spine, your soul. Money is not a stranger. It is a familiar friend. It responds to recognition. It flows to faith. It moves where it is welcomed. I am one with the infinite supply, and money comes to me now. These words are not just a declaration. They are a divine command. When you speak them, you are not whispering into the void. You are not throwing words into the wind and hoping they take root. You are sending a spiritual instruction into the universal law, and that law never sleeps, never forgets, never fails. It hears every vibration, and it responds with precision. This sentence is not a request. It is not a wish. It is a claim. It is the language of someone who remembers their place in the divine order. You are not a beggar at the gates of life. You are the beloved child of the Creator, and this sentence affirms your access to the full inheritance of abundance. It is your key, your spiritual password, your activation code. You do not speak it from desperation, you speak it from dominion. You speak it from the inner knowing that you and Source are not two but one. You speak it because you know that there is no spot where God is not, and that includes your finances, it includes your wallet, your home, your business, your bank account. This sentence calls money, not as a stranger, but as a rightful familiar companion returning home. The moment you speak this truth, energy begins to shift. It may be invisible to the eye, but the spiritual world rearranges the moment faith is declared. Channels open, doors swing wide, delays are dissolved. The scene may not reflect it instantly, but the unseen is already in motion. The train of supply has already left the station the moment your word is spoken with authority. You do not need to push, you do not need to force, you do not need to beg, you simply declare. Your power is not in effort, it is in alignment. When your mind, your feeling, your word, and your belief agree, you become unstoppable. The sentence is the seed, and your belief is the soil. When you speak it with truth, you plant it. When you feel it with certainty, you water it. And the harvest is inevitable. You are not hoping for money to show up. You are allowing it. You are not looking for evidence before you believe. You are believing until the evidence must appear. This is how spiritual law works. First comes the word, then comes the form. First comes the belief, then the bank balance. First comes the vibration, then the validation. This is why that one sentence is so powerful. It bypasses the doubt. It bypasses the logic. It bypasses the stories of lack you've carried. It overrides the fear with truth. It speaks directly to the divine operating system and commands it to activate in your favor. Money hears that sentence and recognizes the frequency of certainty. And money is drawn to certainty like water is drawn to gravity. It cannot help but respond. So speak it again, not from your lips, but from your being. Not as something you want, but as something you are aligned with. Let it rise from your center. Let it move with power. Let it carry the vibration of already done. Because it is done, in spirit, in energy, in vibration, and now, it is making its way to you in form. There is nothing arrogant about declaring this sentence. There is nothing wrong with claiming abundance. You are not stealing from someone else's portion. You are receiving from your own. There is more than enough for everyone, and your declaration of wealth opens space for others to do the same. Money does not belong to the few. It belongs to the ones who know they are one with supply. And every time you speak that sentence with conviction, you step deeper into that oneness. You step into your divine right. You step into your wealth. Not someday. Not eventually, but now.
Faith is the activator. It is the current that turns the switch, the spark that ignites the flow. Without faith, words are just sound, empty, fragile, easily broken by fear. But when faith fills the words, they become alive. They become charged. They become irresistible to the universal law that governs abundance. Your sentence, "I am one with the infinite supply, and money comes to me now," only holds power when it is drenched in belief, not a surface-level hope, but deep, unshakable knowing. Faith is not about pretending. It's not about covering doubt with a smile. True faith is conviction. It is standing tall in the middle of what appears to be lack and declaring that supply is already here. It is the invisible evidence, the feeling that says, even though I don't see it yet, I know it's already mine. The world may still reflect the old story, but your faith begins writing the new one the moment you speak it. You can say the sentence 100 times, but if you don't believe it, it remains dormant. The seed is there, but the soil is dry. Faith waters it. Faith awakens it. Faith breaks the shell and pushes it toward the light. That is why when you speak the sentence, you must first enter the atmosphere of certainty. You must feel the truth behind the words. You must say it not as a question, but as a command, not as a possibility, but as a fact. And here is the mystery. The more you choose to believe, the easier it becomes to believe. Faith expands every time you practice it. Just as a muscle grows through repetition, faith strengthens when you use it in the face of contradiction. The more you speak the sentence with trust, the more your outer world begins to match your inner declaration. Your faith moves things in silence long before you see the shift in the material. Doubt may knock, but it cannot stay where faith lives. Doubt may rise, but it has no roots when you consistently water your belief. When you speak, "Money comes to me now," you must back it with the inner voice that says, "Because it must, because the law works, because I am one with the source, and the source never fails." You do not speak it and wait nervously. You speak it and move as if it's already done. You make decisions in alignment. You give from overflow. You act from abundance. You trust the next step, even if you can't yet see the whole staircase. You are not required to figure out how. That is not your role. Your role is faith. The how belongs to the divine. The delivery belongs to the law. Your job is the vibration. Your job is the belief. The supply will shape itself around your certainty. The money will find you through whatever channels are most aligned, often through ways you couldn't have predicted. But it always starts with faith. Always. And faith speaks differently. It walks differently. It shows up with a calmness that confuses fear. When others panic, faith holds peace. When others wait for permission, faith declares readiness. When others react to circumstances, faith creates new ones. Speak the sentence from that energy. Not only say it, embody it. Let every cell carry the truth of it. Let your entire being radiate the vibration of divine wealth. Even now, as you breathe, the universe is rearranging itself in response to your belief. Even now, unseen doors are unlocking. Even now, the money is moving. It is listening. It is drawn to you. It is magnetized by the power of your unwavering faith. So you keep speaking. You keep believing. You keep standing in that truth until the seen and the unseen become one. When you declare that money comes to you now, you must also release the tight grip on how it comes. The ego wants details. It wants control. It wants a specific path, a particular method, a logical route. But manifestation does not operate through the limits of logic. It flows through the freedom of surrender. When you speak, "I am one with the infinite supply, and money comes to me now," you are not ordering the universe like a delivery. You are activating divine circulation, and divine circulation is creative. It is wild. It is brilliant. It is beyond anything your conscious mind could construct. Expected channels are the ones you can name. Your job, your business, your sales, your clients. These are wonderful and often the first avenues money flows through because they are familiar to your belief system. But if you stop there, you limit the infinite. The real magic happens when you open to the unexpected. The gifts, the refunds, the spontaneous opportunities, the people who cross your path at the perfect moment, the coincidences that shift everything. Faith opens the expected. Surrender unlocks the unexpected. Money is obedient, but not predictable. It follows your belief, not your blueprint, and it often comes in ways that stretch you, surprise you, and remind you that you're not the source, you are the receiver. The moment you try to force the outcome, you interrupt the flow. You turn your back to the river and wonder why the water isn't reaching you. But when you let go, when you trust that the how is handled, the river bends to meet you. You must become comfortable with not knowing the form. You must become fluent in trusting the formless. You must say, "Money comes to me now," and allow the universe to decide whether it comes through a contract or a connection, through a sale or a stranger, through a door you built or one you didn't know existed. The moment you speak with faith and follow with surrender, you allow the infinite to work in its full capacity. Release the grip, release the doubt, release the timeline. You are not responsible for the mechanics. You are responsible for the vibration of abundance, of trust, of openness. And that vibration is what calls money from every direction. The expected channels respond quickly because you've given them your belief. The unexpected channels come like lightning because you've stopped blocking the flow. Sometimes the money you need is already circling, waiting for a crack in your resistance. That crack opens when you say, "I don't know how, but I know it's coming." When you speak that sentence and mean it, the doors swing wide. Your job is to keep speaking, keep receiving, and keep allowing. Even in silence, things are shifting. Even in stillness, abundance is moving. Let the sentence be your atmosphere. Let it be your response to every delay, every fear, every what if. Let it remind you that what you can't see is often greater than what you can. Let it teach you that the unknown is not a threat. It's a treasure chest, waiting to be opened by the key of surrender. I am one with the infinite supply, and money comes to me now, through expected and unexpected channels. Say it often. Say it when it feels like nothing is happening. Say it when your mind wants to micromanage. Say it until your energy is open, until your grip softens, until your heart is prepared to receive miracles without limits. Money is not delayed. It's divinely directed. It's looking for the clearest, most welcoming path to reach you. Make yourself that path. Clear your thoughts. Align your words. Lift your energy. Be willing for it to come how it wants, when it wants, as much as it wants. Trust the law, honor the process, and celebrate the unexpected.
Consistency builds momentum. Repetition creates rhythm. The spiritual law responds not to what you do once, but to what you do until it becomes a part of your identity. The sentence, "I am one with the infinite supply and money comes to me now," must not be a momentary affirmation. It must be a way of being. Not a rescue chant when fear hits, but the foundation upon which you walk, breathe, live, and give. You don't speak it once and wait. You speak it until there is no more waiting. You speak it until your vibration becomes a match to it so completely that life must mirror it. You don't stop when it seems like nothing's shifting.
You continue because you know everything is already shifting. You understand that the manifestation is not a single spark, it is the fire built through steady focus and unwavering energy. This is why spiritual mastery is not in grand gestures but in the discipline of faith. You train your vibration like a musician trains their hands again and again until the tune becomes second nature. You speak the sentence when it feels powerful and when it feels weak. You speak it when your bank account sings and when it feels silent. You speak it not to manipulate reality, but to merge with truth. It's not about convincing the universe, it's about anchoring yourself deeper into the frequency of wealth until your presence alone becomes a magnet for it. You become the current, not just the conductor. Your energy speaks louder than your words, and the more consistently you affirm your connection with infinite supply, the more your energy begins to stabilize in abundance. Fear may still whisper, but it will no longer lead. Doubt may knock, but it will no longer enter, because your repetition is building a fortress, a vibration so clear, so repeated, so aligned, that the only possible outcome is manifestation. You begin to see that money doesn't respond to drama, it responds to clarity, it responds to the one who refuses to forget who they are. And when you remember that you are not a victim of economy, not a servant of circumstances, not a beggar in the marketplace of life, but a child of the divine, then you rise. Then you command with elegance. Then you receive without apology. Let this sentence be your daily nourishment. Let it be the music in the background of your thoughts. Let it echo in your mind as you walk, as you rest, as you give, as you build. When the world tries to distract you with noise, come back to the word. When results seem delayed, return to the declaration. When nothing seems to be working, speak as if it already has. This is how spiritual law yields, when your belief outlasts the appearance. And you will begin to notice, the more consistent you are, the faster things begin to respond. You'll find money showing up in conversations, in invitations, in opportunities that feel random but are divinely orchestrated. You'll realize that by holding this sentence close, you've tuned your frequency to such a degree that all of life begins to organize itself around your faith. The sentence becomes more than words, it becomes your inner climate. You don't just speak it in the morning and forget it by noon, you live inside it, you breathe it like oxygen, you wake up with it on your tongue and let it walk beside you like a trusted friend. This is not a magic formula. It is a truth spoken long enough to become your reality. And so even now, as the world changes, as people worry, as uncertainty rises, you remain rooted, you remain clear, you remain open. Because the law doesn't respond to outer noise, it responds to inner alignment, and your sentence, when lived consistently, becomes the rhythm that draws money not just once, but again and again. It becomes your lifestyle. It becomes your atmosphere, it becomes the sound that money hears and cannot resist. And so now you stand not as someone waiting for abundance, but as someone already aligned with it. You are no longer casting words like stones into a silent sky. You are releasing divine commands into a living, breathing universe that hears you, sees you, and responds without delay. This is not theory. This is not hope. This is law. You have remembered that money is not your master, it is your servant. That wealth is not a destination, it is your nature. That your words are not empty, they are the very builders of your world. You have chosen to rise above fear, to speak above doubt, and to anchor yourself in the truth that you are one with the infinite supply. Let your days be filled with this knowing. Let your nights rest in this assurance. Let this sentence echo through your being until it becomes the beat of your life. I am one with the infinite supply, and money comes to me now through expected and unexpected channels in perfect divine timing. Speak it as law, feel it as truth, live it as reality, because now, money doesn't just visit, it recognizes your voice, and it responds immediately.